this lesson, we are handling SQL case expressions. If you are not coming from any coding background, case expressions may be new to you or slightly tricky, but they follow a very logical sequence. They are the usual if, else statements we find in other programming languages. The case expression goes through conditions and returns a value when the first condition is met, like an if-then-else statement. So once a condition is true, it will stop reading and return the result. If no conditions are true, it returns the value in the else clause. If there is no else part and no conditions are true, it returns null. Let's go through some of the importance of case expressions. It transforms raw data into business insights. It helps convert technical values into meaningful business categories, helping to turn complex business rules into actionable data without extra processing. It simplifies nested analysis by handling multiple conditions without nested ifs or multiple queries, and makes reports more intuitive with human-readable values instead of code. And we will demonstrate this point very soon. It enhances data quality and consistency. It standardizes business logic directly in your database layer and creates consistent interpretation of data across all reports and applications. Enough with the theory. Let's delve into writing real case expressions. Take a critical look at this updated employees table. Take particular note of the salary column. Using SQL case expressions, we can easily categorize these salaries so they become meaningful for business decisions. Consider this question. Show each employee's name, department, salary, and a new column, salary level, with high if salary is greater than or equal to 70,000, medium if salary between 50,000 and 69,999. Low if salary is less than 50,000. You could pause the video and ponder over the question. We are being asked to categorize these salaries. The question says we should show name, department, salary, and a new column called salary level using the conditions provided. So we can start our query by writing select name, department, salary. But we cannot write salary level yet because it is not part of our original table. We are going to build the salary level with our case expression, and we do that by saying case. When salary is greater than or equal to 70,000, then high. You realize that this is exactly what the question is telling us to do. It says high if salary is greater than or equal to 70,000. To meet the second expression, we continue by saying, when salary is greater than or equal to 50,000, then medium. For this particular line, take a look at that part of the question again. Medium, if salary is between 50,000 and 69,999. We could write it in several ways, but I choose the most efficient or less verbose way. One alternative way we could write this line is, when salary greater than or equal to 50,000 and salary is less than or equal to 69,999, then medium. In fact, we could even use the between statement by writing, when salary between 50,000 and 69,999, then medium. They all actually mean the same thing. The most efficient is just to use when salary greater than or equal to 50,000, then medium. You don't really need to specify the 69,999 because the first when statement actually accounts for it. The third condition is to label salaries lower than 50,000 as low. Normally, we don't have to specify this last condition unless it is very necessary. We can end by saying else low, end as salary level. After all, if it's not high or medium, it will be low. So anything that doesn't meet the first two criteria will be low. We close the case statement by specifying end as salary level. So now we have our salary level column. Then we say from employees. Our table will then move from this to this, with the salaries categorized to make real business sense. Just as we mentioned, as one of the importance of SQL case expressions, they indeed convert technical values into meaningful business categories. But before we end our lesson, let's ask this important question, which is vital for writing these case expressions. Why is medium not checked before high? What would happen if the order of conditions changed? Being able to answer these questions effectively is very important in your ability to write reasonable case expressions in the future. In this query, we use the SQL case expression to categorize each employee's salary into one of three levels: high, medium, or low. The way case works is that it checks each condition in order, from top to bottom, and as soon as it finds one that's true, it stops and returns that result. That means the order of the conditions matters a lot. Take the example of someone who earns $70,000. If we first check whether their salary is greater than or equal to $50,000, that condition is true. So SQL immediately returns the label medium and never gets the chance to check whether it should have been high instead. To avoid that problem, we put the high condition first. We check if the salary is greater than or equal to $70,000 before we check for $50,000. That way, employees with higher salaries get correctly labeled as high, and only those who didn't meet that first condition move on to the medium or low categories. So in short, when using case to group things into levels or ranges, always start with the highest or most specific condition and work your way down. That ensures each value is placed in the correct category. Take your time with the two case expressions questions for this section. Read the learning notes and use the questions to practice. If you run into any difficulties, don't forget to use the discussion forum. See you in our next lesson.